realized yet how widely his name had gone as the possessor of millions. He supposed himself an unnoticed atom as he stood at the spring on the second night of his stay in the village. Of a certainty, many did not know him, but they saw him, for he was a striking figure, a handsome figure, though that had never concerned him. He was, in fact, feeling his own insignificance. He was standing there in shadow, looking out somberly upon the streams of people as they came to take their evening draught at the wonderful water of the effervescing spring. The sun had gone behind the high peaks to the west, and a delicious dry coolness was in the canyon. It seemed to Clement to be a very fashionable and leisurely throng, so long had he been absent from people either modish or easeful. He felt himself to be hopelessly outside all this youth and brilliancy and merriment, and he looked upon it all with a certain wistfulness. He perceived at length that the strollers were not all of the same conditions. There were rough, brown cowboys from La Junta and Cajon, and miners in rough dress down from the gulches for a night, but mainly the promenaders appealed to him with elegance of dress and manner. Many of the ladies came without hats, which added to the charm of their eyes and hair. Some of them looked twice at the tall man with the big mustache and broad hat, who seemed to be watching for some tardy friend. As he studied them, his memory freshened, and he came to understand them better. He analyzed them into familiar types. This was a banker and his wife from some small town. The wife fussy and consequential, the husband coldly dignified. This group was composed of a doctor and his daughters. Behind them came a merchant from some Nebraska town, he rough of exterior, his children dainty of dress and very pretty. Occasionally a group of college-bred girls came up without escort, alert, self-helpful, and serene. They saw Clement at once, and studied him carefully as they drank their beauty cup at the circular bench before the spring. All good-looking men had interest to them. All classes came, a varied stream, yet they were Western, and of the well-to-do condition for the larger part. The deft boy swung the glasses of water on his tripartite dipper with ceaseless splash and clink. There was a pleasant murmur of talk in which an Eastern listener would have heard the R sound well defined. There were many couples seated about the pavilion on the benches and railings. It was all busy, yet tranquil. Each loiterer had fed, had taken his draught of healing water, and this was the hour of pleasant gossip and repose. Clement fell at last to analyzing the action of the boy who supplied the water at the pool. He slammed the glasses into the pool and set them on the bench with a click as regular as a pump. Occasionally, however, he was indifferent. With some of his customers, he handled the glasses as if they contained nectar, thus indicating his generous patrons. Once he stopped and dipped the glass into the pool with his own hand, a doubtful action, and extended it with a bow to a young lady who said, "Thank you," so sweetly that he blushed and stammered in reply. All this fixed Clement's attention, and as the young girl lifted the glass in her slim hand, he wondered how she had escaped his notice for a single moment. A woman at his side said sighfully, "There is that consumptive girl again. She hasn't long to stay." She was as pale, as fragile, and as lovely as the mountain columbine. Her face was thin, and her head shapely, but her eyes, they burned like rarest topaz, deep, dark, and sad. Clement shivered as he felt them fixed upon him, and yet he could not